Hey, how's it going, guys? Missing No here, and today we are doing another Kaijudo deck profile. This time we are doing Light Dark Nature Midrange. There's nothing really too special about this deck. It's a lot of success. This is a deck that CVH and Earth Power both took during Season 4. CVH took it with a lot of success, and this is my attempt at building the deck as well with open format in mind, which means I put Lyra in it, because why not? We're going to start things off with 3 copies of Raincloud Kraken. It's a 2 for 3,000 blocker with Skirmisher. It's a really good opening card to just start getting up some defenses. And it's an Enforcer, so it can also evolve into Blinder Beetle Prime. I'm playing 2 copies of Stingwing. Normally I like playing 3, but I don't like getting kind of screwed over by mana. I know that 10 is kind of like the most you want to play. I want to say I'm only playing 9 multi-civs in this deck, but even still, I still get kind of screwed over with mana more times than I want, because I just keep opening dual civs. I have to basically waste a turn to play mana. But, so we're going for 2 right now. 2 for 4,500 blocker with Skirmisher. When it wins a battle, it dies. Typical Stingwing stuff, but it's also an Enforcer, so again, it can evolve into Blinder Beetle Prime. We're playing 3 copies of Tricky Turnip. 3 for 3,000 Wild Veggie that cannot be the target of spells or abilities. This card is just really, really good. It's kind of like a Keeper of Laws without the draw effect, so that's pretty nice. We're playing 3 copies of Targusher. This is one of my favorite cards in the game. 3 for 1,500 Slayer, and Gunk Up is its other ability, which makes it so you can tap an enemy creature if this creature is banished. So that's all really good. Like, being able to revenge kill something and then tap something else as it goes down is just really, really awesome. It's also an Enforcer, so again, more evolution bait for Blinder Beetle Prime. And to continue the Blinder Beetle Prime Evo bait, we also play 3 copies of Swordhorn. This is one of the best vanillas in the game. 1, because it has Enforcer, but 2, because it's a 3 for 5,500, which gets over quite a bit. This card is really, really good. Playing 3 copies of Keeper of Laws. Again, if you control another creature, this creature can't be targeted by opponent's spells and abilities. And anytime your opponent casts a spell, you get to draw a card. This card is just really, really good. Kind of helps you control the game a bit until you can get all your things set up. Keeper of Laws is just a fantastic card. We're playing 3 copies of Underworld Stalker. This is a 4 for 4,000 Shadow Champion. It has Slayer. If this creature is in the discard pile, you can summon it from there by tapping 4. And then when anytime a creature would be put from your opponent's anywhere into the discard pile, so their hand, their field, top of the deck, whatever, it goes to the bottom of their deck instead. So that's pretty interesting. This card isn't necessarily the best in open format, but it can do some things when it needs to. We're playing 3 copies of Broodmother. 5 for 4,000 Megabug with Protector, and when this card enters the battle zone, you reveal top 2 cards to your deck, and you can add any creatures that you reveal to your hand. You only play one playset of spells in this deck, so most of the time you're drawing 2 when you drop a Broodmother, so that's pretty good. We're playing 2 copies of Blinder Beetle Prime. I've considered bumping up to 3, but at the same time, I feel it's kind of toxic, so even if I'm not playing with the house ban list, I still kind of feel like I should be playing 2, just because I hate this card, but it's really good. 5 for 6,000 evolution creature evolves off of an Enforcer specifically, has Double Breaker, and this creature enters the battle zone, and anytime it attacks, you tap an enemy creature. This card is just really, really good. It does what it does very, very well. Another evolution we play is 2 copies of Anjak the Elkin. It's a 5 for 8,000, evolves off of any of your nature creatures. It has Double Breaker. If this creature would be banished, it goes into the mana zone instead, kind of like Bronze Arm Sabretooth. And then when this creature is put from the battle zone into the mana zone, you can put a non-evolution creature that costs 5 or less from your mana zone into the battle zone. So if you evolved your Broodmother into this, you can just get that Broodmother right back and potentially draw 2 more cards for free. This card is really, really good. The obligatory Lyra the Blazing Sun, because why not? We're playing 3 copies of the Arbiter. This card is just also really good. We all know what it does, but 7 for 2500. Shield Blast creature when enters the battle zone. Tap 2 your opponent's enemy creatures. Card is really good. I need to find a different way to describe cards because I say really good all the time. We're playing 2 copies of Regent Sasha. It is a 7 for 12,500 that evolves on top of any of your light creatures, so most of your deck. Has Triple Breaker, and its Unleash effect is until the start of your next turn. This creature cannot leave the battle zone, and whenever one of your shields would be broken, you can discard a creature instead. So, this thing just ensures that it stays on the field no matter what. And then if your opponent comes in the next turn and tries breaking all your shields, you can just keep discarding cards from your hand instead that are creatures. Keep your shields protected, your opponent just can't do anything. And then probably just go for game after that. This card is a choice of mine. So I really wanted an excuse to play Scaradorable the Behemoth. It is a 7 for 12,000 Vortex evolution that evolves on top of 2 dark and/or nature creatures. With Triple Breaker, and when it enters the battle zone, it's a Terror Pit and a Root Trap. So I like the 2 forms of removal when you get it out with Triple Breaker. Like it sounds really good. And in all reality, this card is like it's funny, and I really like playing it. But you'd probably be better off playing something like Trox the Merciless instead, because Trox is like untargeting removal that can hit multiple things if they have multiple names out. But I saw this, I really wanted to play it. Maybe I'll take 1 out for a Trox. I think all in all this deck is like 42 cards when it's done. So there's definitely some wiggle room, some things I could cut. I don't necessarily want to cut Scaradorable the Behemoth just because I like it. But I understand that there are better options like Trox that I could be playing instead. But just for some fun at-home games, Scaradorable is pretty funny. 3 copies of Terror Pit, because Terror Pit, this is the one spell that you don't want to, or this is like the one card you don't want to draw for your Broodmother, because then you don't get 2 cards. But any other time, this is a pretty decent card. Just removal is great. And the last 2 cards we're playing are 2 copies of Boulder Fist the Pulverizer. It is an 8 for 13,000 evolution that evolves on top of any of your nature creatures with Triple Breaker. And its Unleash effect is put each enemy creature that has less power than or equal to the card used for this Unleash effect from your opponent's battle zone into the mana zone. So if I were to put a Boulder Fist on top of an Anjack, you would swing with the Boulder Fist, unleash the Anjack, and then anything your opponent has that's 8,000 power or less is just sent to the mana zone. So they will get a lot of mana a lot of times, but usually if you're going for the Boulder Fist play, that's pretty much the end game, and you're going for all of their shields, and you're going to pretty much ensure that they don't win. But if that fails, then just know that you gave your opponent a lot of mana. This card is really good. I still need to profile Modern Nature because this is like a big player in that deck. But yeah, so this is the deck. Like I said, it's nothing too terribly special. I've been playing it for a little while now. There's definitely some cards that I feel could be adjusted. Like I said, I don't want to cut Scaradorable the Behemoth, but I acknowledge that it's probably not the best card. But a Terror Pit and a Root Trap on play is just really, really neat. I have some more decks that I want to profile, but I'm still missing a bunch of cards for them. I know that in one of my previous videos, I had recently uploaded a deck called Fight Dragons. And in that deck, I talk about how if you're building a dragon deck, and it's not the 4 Civ dragons that run the darkness, or it's not like the usual like Lightwater Fire dragons, it's just like the best deck in the game. There is no way to make dragons better. Anything you try and do to divert from the dragon formula just inherently makes worse dragons. So keeping that in mind, I'm working on 2 new dragon builds. So one of the deck ideas that I had, one is Skyforce Dragons, which just immediately sounds terrible. Like, you're already taking dragons, one of the best decks in the game, and mixing with Skyforce Champions, which are garbage. So that deck is going to be bad, but it's something that it could be funny just because I like Volaron, because it's Skyforce Champion and a dragon. So there's a potential there. But this other one that I've been kind of working on for a while now, this one's not done because I'm missing some cards. But the whole deck revolves around Runemaster Zir, which is a 7 for 7,000 Tsunami Dragon that lets you cast spells that are level 9 or less from your hand for free. So that opens up a lot of potential, especially in conjunction with Justicar Arcanix, who turns all of your spells in your shield zone into shield blasts and allows you to cast all your spells for cheaper. So that's pretty funny. So basically what I do is I want to like make a deck that revolves around like these 2 cards, and then just lets you just drop powerful spells out of your hand for free, and things like Skull Shatter or Absolute Darkness. And while going through my binder, I found this card Liquid Compulsion, which is look at the top 3 cards of your deck and play a non-evolution creature from them into the battle zone for free, and then just add the rest of your hand. So it's a draw 2 and a free body, which is busted. And you can get it for free if your opponent breaks it while you have a Justicar out, or you can just play it for your hand for free while tagging with Azir, and just drop like Andromedas or Cassiopeias or whatever you want from your hand. Like, that just seems really, really good. But yeah, these are some ideas that I'm having. Probably again, like I said, not good, because if you're not playing like the 2 standard dragon decks, you're just making dragons worse essentially. But yeah, so this was the deck and kind of a look into what I'm working on behind the scenes. Not sure what deck will be profiled next. I have some ideas, but I'm still working on a lot of stuff. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I will catch you guys later.